Well, ladies and gentlemen, if I can have your attention. Thank you, everyone. Let's get started tonight. I've got to say, what a wonderful room of amazing people. Well, I meant you, Alan. I really did. You're embarrassing me now, Alan. You are an amazing person, though. I accept that. One thing before I get on to the speech tonight, please keep eating. So I won't be offended, Deputy Mayor won't be offended if you keep eating, because we've got a lot to do. And there's a lot of great food coming in. I've got a little bit of feedback, but that's okay. I probably sound better, do I? But good evening, everybody. Welcome. What a wonderful evening. I just want to thank the staff for putting this on me. I lost a little bit of blood, but it's on. And we'll eventually get the ambulance to get the other safety pins out of my chest. I missed the punk era, but here we go. For those of you who don't know me, I'm the CEO of the City of Prospect, and I just want to welcome you here and celebrate and recognise the wonderful job and the contributions that you as volunteers make. And it's our absolute privilege to have you here tonight and to honour you, because you deserve to be honoured. And particularly now in 2021, after last year, we didn't get an opportunity to honour you, and it's so special tonight that we can. I'd just like to begin with an acknowledgement, as we do at the City of Prospect, an acknowledgement of country. We acknowledge this land that we meet on today as the traditional land of the Kaurna people, and we respect their spiritual relationship with their country. We also acknowledge the Kaurna people as the custodians of the Adelaide region, and that their cultural and heritage beliefs are still as important to the living Kaurna people today as they were in eons gone by. We also pay respects to the cultural authority of the Aboriginal people visiting or attending from other areas of South Australia today. And I'm delighted to say that Council has embarked on a very important process, a Makarrata process with the Aboriginal people, which otherwise often is known as treaty, and you'll hear more about that in the days ahead. We have some apologies tonight. Mayor David Lachlan is unable to attend because he's on Kangaroo Island participating in various local government meetings. But we welcome Deputy Mayor Matt Larwood, who will present the Community Service Awards this evening, and he will represent the Mayor tonight. We're also delighted to have not only the wonderful, obviously, Alan Harris down here on the front, but Councillors Christina Barnett, Alison DeBacker, Mark Groot, Tui Nguyen and Stephen Rip. I wonder whether the councillors could just stand up tonight just to say g'day. I mean, I don't know whether you all know them, but please stand up, and everybody. They are your councillors, ladies and gentlemen, and the Deputy Mayor down the front. Thank you. They do deserve applause because they put a lot of time and effort into doing everything they can to make sure the City of Prospect is heading in the right direction. Now, on that note, and there is no such thing completely as a free dinner, I need to hold up a couple of things that you can get. The annual business plan, which is over there by the door. We'd love you to take a copy. And the other thing is our representation review options. How do you want to be represented? How many councillors do you want? How many wards do you want? All of those things are here, and I know it's sometimes seen as boring as watching paint dry, but it's incredibly important for you to get involved with these critical decisions, and the councillors who are here tonight and the Deputy Mayor would love to hear your opinion. You know, the elected members of the City of Prospect value your opinion. Please share it. We're also delighted tonight to have our past award recipients, including our current Citizen of the Year, Chris Whiteside, and our past Citizen of the Year recipients, Robin Rook, I hope I got that right, Robert, and David Kilner. I wonder whether you guys could stand up if you're here tonight, just as an acknowledgement. Please do stand up. Thank you. Let's give them a hand. Welcome. And we also have our 2016 Young Citizen of the Year, Sophie Harris. And Sophie, I got you mid-fork, sorry. Please stand up and let's give you a hand. Can I say, Sophie, you handled that very elegantly. I caught you mid-fork. And of course, the real VIP guest here tonight are our volunteers in Prospect, and we welcome all of you from the many organisations that you represent. A community is only as strong as the organisations that are here tonight, and we really acknowledge the huge contribution you make through your organisations. I'd like to advise that tonight's formalities and the community services presentation will be live streamed to YouTube. I've asked them to put on the youth and fat filter for me, and for a small amount I can arrange that for you as well. Look, it's absolutely fitting tonight that this is National Volunteer Week, Australia's largest annual celebration of volunteers, which gives us an opportunity to celebrate the very significant contribution of volunteers in our community. National Volunteer Week is a time to remember the power of that kind word, a gesture or a listening ear. I mean, we can't even begin to measure the value of our volunteers. It is immeasurable, but is very, 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 very regarded and loved. So we recognise the important role that Council plays in supporting you as volunteers in the city. We know that Council isn't the only organisation that supports wonderful volunteers, and I again acknowledge the other organisations that are here tonight. One of the key aspects of the community plan, which you may not be aware of, is that the plan states it starts with a community at heart. And if you heard that without knowing the background, you might go, a community with heart. You might go, that's a trite statement. That sounds like something an advertising agency would have come up with. But I can tell you, having been in those endless workshops with our councillors, that this was absolutely came from our elected members who felt that the one thing that encapsulated the city of Prospect was a community, and a community with heart. That actually came from the heart of the elected members. It's real, it's not a trite statement, it's something that resonates throughout the whole community plan. And I just want to, as somebody who to a certain extent was there but not somebody who was guiding this, I just respected the fact that your elected members wanted to sense that there was a community with heart. The theme for 2021 National Volunteer Week is Recognise, Reconnect and Reimagine. And those are also values that we espouse in the City of Prospect. You are definitely part of this, special part of this community. Without going on too long, because I want to leave room for the Deputy Mayor, tonight we do recognise the significant contribution, and we say thank you to every volunteer within this room. You make our community stronger and a better place to live, and support an active and engaged community. You really do. It's very serious, and we're so privileged to have you. The other thing is, frankly, we could not cope without our volunteers. As somebody who looks at the budget every year, as elected members come, our volunteers are the heroes. We couldn't do what we do without you. The truth is, it's not just about your labour, it's about your ideas, your innovation, your kindness, your motivation and your camaraderie. Volunteers provide the life force within our communities that no leader, no government and no council can do. And we say that seriously. You know, it's a bit like saying we'll continue the beatings until morale improves. We can't ask people to be volunteers. You've got it in your heart, and it's really important. Those receiving recognition today are part of a group of some 126 registered volunteers at the City of Prospect, with an age range from 17 to 86, which is just remarkable how wide that range is. And these people dedicate themselves selflessly to bettering society. So from my point of view, ladies and gentlemen, I would like to just acknowledge that 2,145 volunteer hours were contributed through that period. That's an enormous amount of time. 6 new volunteers joined this organisation between January and March of this year, sharing their skills and experience and making unique contributions. This short ad, ladies and gentlemen, we have 5 vacancies, so please give us a call. In fact, we're locking the doors. Nobody's getting out tonight without 5 of those. So we are committed to guaranteeing that Council's relationships with its volunteers is genuinely a two-way street, and the opportunities we provide to you and our future volunteers will be stimulating, relevant and well supported. Without a doubt, volunteers are an amazing and invaluable contributor. I wonder whether or not, ladies and gentlemen, just before the Deputy Mayor comes, can we just congratulate all of our volunteers represented in the room? And thank you. Without further ado, I'd like to invite Deputy Mayor Matt Larwood to formally welcome you and, on behalf of Council, present Council's Community Service Awards. Thank you, Matt.
That's right. Just doing a bit of a sound check, so can you guys hear me down the back of the room there? Thanks very much. How about down the front of the room, Alan? Can you hear me down the front of the room? Thanks very much. Thanks very much, Nigel, and I would like to echo Nigel's comments and welcome you all, and thank you for all that you do within our city. The Mayor would have loved to have been here tonight. This is one of the events that he really holds dear to his heart in the annual calendar of things that he does, and for the reasons that Nigel mentioned, volunteers are critical to making our lives a better place and helping our community come together, and it really creates a richer life for many people, and the volunteers around the room are largely to thank for that as well. As all types of community groups and organisations celebrate National Volunteer Week, we jointly recognise that the choice to volunteer is born from many motivators. It could be to seek friendship, it could be to give back to your community, it could be to broaden your networks, it could be to develop skills, gain experience, gain knowledge and so on and so forth. So whilst the reasons why you might volunteer vary greatly, the common thread is that people actually are putting their hands up and doing something without expecting too much in return. And as human beings, when we give and share our time and talent, we gain even more. We meet new people, we learn valuable skills, broaden our horizons, we draw our community closer together, and the last 12 months has been a fantastic example of where that's been critical, and I think we've come through pretty well. We show that even the smallest acts of kindness can make our community a better place. From my own perspective, I'd probably call myself, I come from a family of serial volunteers, so Mum and Dad were volunteers on the Parents and Friends organisation, St Vincent de Paul, the church, the Scouts, the Lacrosse Club. Anything that required someone to put their hand up, they put their hand up. And I know that myself and my three brothers all inherited that volunteer gene, and we find ourselves running around at 8 o'clock on a Saturday morning helping Councillor Groot's kids learn how to become lacrosse players. My kids have, well past on that junior age, but I'm still out there, and I'm still happy and proud to be involved and to give back. And now I see my kids also putting their hand up to volunteer in a number of ways, and so there's no doubt that there's some sort of, I think, genetic aspect to it as well. And that's one of the things that's really interesting about tonight's gathering. There's people from many age groups and many cultural and demographic backgrounds. So there is no individual profile of what it requires to be a volunteer, and every single member of the community has got something to offer. The only thing that's lacking is, I think, more people to put their hands up. So thank you all for being amongst that small elite group who have put their hands up and who are happy to get out there at 7 o'clock in the morning or be the last person to leave at 6 o'clock in the evening or 8 o'clock at night, and just get about and do something and help out in some small way. It's fantastic, and all the sporting organisations, the community groups and the other special interest groups simply wouldn't be as strong in the city of Prospect if it wasn't for the fantastic effort that you have all put in tonight. So again, as per with the CEO, I'd like you to put your hands together and give yourself a round of applause. Council's Community Service Awards are presented annually to local residents. I'm just going to hold this here. Where are we? Okay. Local residents, community groups and sporting clubs who have been nominated for their outstanding contribution to our communities. The awards acknowledge and celebrate significant voluntary contributions that make the City of Prospect such a great place to live and work, promoting not only individuals but also our community groups and sporting clubs. This program is community driven. It's well supported by the team within Council, who do a fantastic job of organising and working out who might do what and making sure people are involved and recognised. But it is community driven, and as such the community recognises that it is the community themselves who are best placed to know and appreciate who in the community group or club should receive an award. So thank you to those who took the time to submit a nomination that has resulted in recognising our 2021 recipients. The City of Prospect embraced the Colour Your Community Red campaign in 2020, and it took me about 10 minutes from getting in and sitting down to realise that most of the people in the room were wearing red, except for Councillor Harris and Councillor Twee and Councillor Groot and Councillor DeBacker and Councillor Rip. Oh, that doesn't count. So Christina Barnett wins the award for the most appropriately dressed elected member here tonight. Congratulations, Christina. We encouraged our community to tie something red outside their home, school, office, business, or wear something red. It's great to see that many of you have embraced the Colour Your Community Red campaign again this year. Our volunteers in the groups or clubs that are involved within are an asset to the City of Prospect and are so important for the creation of vibrant and resilient communities. As I mentioned before, the past year has been dominated by the effects and challenges arising from COVID-19, and I know that our community groups and sporting clubs, with the support of their volunteers, are an important part of our efforts to get back to some kind of normal. And anyone who is here who's involved in a sporting club would have just had a massive workload over the last 12 months, so much more than what we normally had to do to deliver the same service. And we've all learned a fair bit out of that process, but it has stretched our resources, which is even more of a testament that there are so many people who are willing to turn up each week and just do something. It's just amazing to see. I'd now like to read out the award recipients and ask that they come forward to receive their awards, and if they wish, say a few words. So I'm not sure whether I'll just launch into reading out names, looking for some direction to Nigel. Okay, so let's start with, I'm not going to read out the description of why the individuals have been presented with their awards. I'm just going to read out the names. So I'd like to call out Jill Dyer. Oh. Thanks. So let's do this. Did you want to say anything? Go on, why not? Go ahead.
I'd just like to thank Prospect Primary School. I taught in Mount Gambier for 40 years at a primary school there, and when I retired 4 years ago and I came to Adelaide, I was looking for something, and I rolled up at Prospect Primary, and I just want to thank them for welcoming me in. And it's a great school, great kids. So thanks, Marilyn.
Jill, can you just stay on the stage? Next, I'd like to ask Alison Hemingway to come to the stage, please. You'd like to say a few words, surely? Not really? Alison said not really. She doesn't have to. She doesn't want to. But it's for her work with the Prospect Primary School. So there we go.
Can I just say, I feel a little bit of a fraud being up here because I probably get more out of volunteering at Prospect Primary than what they get from me. I have to exercise to get there, so my GP ticks that. I spend a delightful 2.5 hours with 7-year-olds. What can be better? Okay, thank you.
Oh, guys, can you please? I'd now like to ask Tony Di Girolami to come up and be presented for the award as a prominent volunteer with Star Inc. Well done, mate. Hopefully I got the name right. Yeah, you did. Okay. Do you want to just stand on that side and we'll look out the front and we're going to smile. Tony's a man of few words. Tony, can you please join us on the stage till we're done? Okay, the next award goes to someone who has contributed well over 2,000 hours towards the City of Prospect. Imagine that. Congratulations, Shona Toa. Let's just move over a step. Okay. It is, yeah. You got a little speech plan? Yeah, that. Okay. Small speech. Okay. Do you want me to hold that for me, or? It's okay. You're okay.
I didn't become a volunteer for thanks or anything like that, but I've met wonderful people, and as an ex-primary school teacher, I get to spend time with children again and have a good time. And have great helpers as well.
Thanks, Shona. Next, I'd like to invite up someone who is no stranger to anyone who's been around Prospect for more than a couple of years, who's pretty much been involved in everything possible so far, and does a fantastic job across a wide range of volunteer opportunities. Christina Barnett. Christina, a few words.
Yes, operative a few words, I've noted, so unaccustomed as I am to public speaking. So look, this was actually a surprise to me, so thank you David Kilner for your nomination for Prospect Local History Group. So we've been going since 2006, and I think it was in 2005 that I approached Anne Short, who was then our city librarian, and said, I think it's about time we started up a history group. And well, we started it and we've kept it going, and we've got loads of people in the city who are very interested in researching their history of their houses and a whole lot of other things. So if you're interested in history, we'd love to have you come and join us. So thank you, and thank you David for the nomination. It was most unexpected. Thank you.
Whilst we're on the Prospect Local History Group theme, I'd like to invite Neil Rossiter to come up and receive his award. Short speech maybe about your scarf tonight, Neil, or something else?
Yeah, no.
History group.
I will be brief. I'd just like to thank my colleagues from the History Group for their kindness and support over the years and get me involved. I would especially like to thank the City of Prospect for the money that they've given us, and especially for the air raid shelter. And also I'd like to thank my wife for her kindness and support and her encouragement to keep me down at the air raid shelter. So thank you.
Thanks, Neil. Whilst I'm not going to delve into the reasons why the people tonight have been recognised, Alison has told me that the information relating to the nomination will be up on the website soon. So I'd definitely encourage you all to jump onto the website and have a bit of a read through and look at the fantastic work that the people on stage so far tonight have contributed over the years. Okay, so again, a theme of retired primary school teachers and principals. For his work at the Rotary Club of Regency Park, I'd like to ask Ron Rogers to come up on the stage, please. Ron's an apology, so I'd have to present the plaque to myself, and we won't do that, will we? We'll just move on to the next one. Thanks, Ron. Okay, so I would now like to ask Steph Ferretti from the Powerhouse Fitness Gym to come up on stage and receive her award.
Hi everyone, thank you to the two people that nominated me tonight. I'm from Powerhouse Gym. Powerhouse Gym is the oldest gym in Adelaide, and it's been established here in Prospect at the same place on Churchill Road. And I just wanted to say that it's taken me 8 years of ownership, and I've really worked incredibly hard to reach out to my community to be helping them in any way whatsoever, particularly their physical health, and most importantly for them to find a safe space for them to be working on their mental health as well. I'd like to thank a couple of people here tonight, definitely my staff and my friends that always put up their hands helping me in the events that I host here in Prospect. Particularly one of the ones that I'm most proud of is Santa coming to Prospect, which gives something back to the community. We make sure that we're making as much fuss over the little ones in that time, and bring a bit of joy and happiness to the community. So I've got my staff always volunteer. I'm especially thankful to Santa, who's also Paul here, who's here, and he always puts on a great show for the kids. So thank you for the award.
Thanks, Steph. Next to receive an award for her work with the Village Heart Marketing Fund Committee, acting as the chair, goes to Anne McGuinness. Short speech, sure. Anne has declined a speech, so I will read out that the council staff has taken this opportunity to nominate Anne and to show her their gratitude for stepping up and giving her time and commitment as chair. Anne has led a committee through a major Christmas campaign, a cinema premiere event, and increased the print and digital advertising expenditure, and done a whole range of other marvellous things. So thanks very much for your service, Anne. Next, I'd like to invite for his work as grounds manager at the North Adelaide Croquet Club, William Penino, to come up and receive his award.
It's a great honour that the North Adelaide Croquet Club nominated me for this award. There's a lot of hard-working people there, and I congratulate them all. And yes, it's a great club. Come and try sometime. It's a growing club. we're very competitive, and we do have a lot of social events and so forth. And it is a great honour to be serving the club. Thank you.
So, ladies and gentlemen, we'll have a couple more to go, but just briefly, I'd like to just think about the people up on stage here from a wide variety of backgrounds who have delivered a wide variety of volunteer services to a wide variety of our community, and it's just a great example of how diverse and broad our volunteer team is at Council. So let's have a massive round of applause for these guys on stage. The last two awards go to organisations, and the first one is the Regency Park Rotary Club. Have we got someone from the Regency Park Rotary Club here tonight? Barry? Just whilst Barry's coming up, well, round of applause for Barry. So the Regency Park Rotary Club has been recognised for their ongoing support of a variety of community projects, both locally in country South Australia and abroad. They continue to contribute with initiative, time and effort to the betterment of the community, from barbecues, financial assistance to the Prospect Kindergarten, joint projects that provide support packages for victims of domestic violence, homelessness and mental health, including youth emergency kits. And yeah, just a fantastic organisation. And you know, a great example of a group of people who come together and give selflessly of their time. So congratulations to the Regency Park Rotary Club. Microphone is yours, Barry.
Yes, I'm actually the president of Prospect Rotary Club, and I'm here on behalf of Vic Ibester, the president of Regency Park, who couldn't be here tonight as much as they would have liked to have been to have received the award themselves. They're a small club that gets involved in a lot of projects in their community, both locally, in rural areas and also internationally. So they're a very, very well-deserving group, so I'm happy to receive this award on their behalf. Thank you.
The last award for the night goes to another group, and I'll call out the name of the group and then I'll read a little bit at the start, but I'm sure the recipient will also fill us in. So I'd like to congratulate and invite onto the stage the Prospect District Cricket Club. Actually, I won't save anything. I've heard Dave speak before and he's a much better speaker than me, so we'll leave the actual words in his safe hands.
Thanks, Matt. Prospect Cricket Club, one of the things that we have done of late is the Not the Test Match Dinner, which we do in conjunction with the Adelaide Rotary Club. It's a joint initiative that we both do. And it goes to service, obviously, the cricket club, but also the wonderful work that Rotary does through our city and also interstate and internationally. The Prospect Cricket Club provides premier cricket to the community. We engage over 100 cricketers every Saturday at the wonderful Prospect Oval, and Prospect Oval's a great place, and I'm sure players who played there almost 100 years ago, because we have our centenary in 2028, would still recognise Prospect Oval. A word of thanks to the council. 2000 and 2021 season was very difficult for most sports clubs in our city. The council came to the rescue in that they waived the leased payments for many of the sports clubs that use the council facilities. Now, that is extremely meaningful for most sports clubs to have that partnership with the council, and we are indebted to the Mayor, David, to the Deputy Mayor, Matt, to the elected members and to the staff of the city, Nigel with his staff in the city. It's a fantastic thing to have that ongoing partnership with the city, that we can do that. Not only that, the council also always seeks to help sports clubs. We had an issue with our practice facilities that was going to cost the club about $40,000. Again, the council came and put up a third of that money, as did through Cricket Australia and SACA, and then the club itself. So we have a wonderful relationship with the city. The city's come alive. I mean, I drove down Prospect Road in Mad March and it was absolutely a buzz, and I texted Dave, the Mayor, to say that all the lights are on in the village. And it's wonderful. It's a wonderful feeling of community that we have now within this city, both with the sporting clubs. Like we're co-tenant with North Adelaide Football Club, so we have two of the premier sporting codes on the wonderful old Prospect Oval. We seek to be so inclusive, we seek to be multicultural. In all the teams that we put out, there are players from so many different continents. It's hard to count up how many different backgrounds. We seek to, in all the equity, inclusivity, and with support from the council, so that we can provide those facilities. And of course, as Prospect becomes more and more multicultural, sports like cricket, which spans so many different cultures, are very important. So we are indebted a great thank you to the council. Thank you for recognising us and the work that we're doing, and we will continue to do that in building towards our centenary in 2028. So thank you very much.
Thanks, Dave. So that concludes the formalities of the event. When we give back, we raise each other up. On behalf of the City of Prospect, I thank all volunteers whose service and selflessness move our organisation and council forward and bring us closer together. In conclusion, I would like to share a quote by Sherry Anderson that states, "Volunteers don't get paid not because they're worthless, but because they're priceless." So I'd like to leave you with that thought. Encourage everyone who's got a plaque to put it up in their office or in their front room and show it off very proudly, because you deserve to be recognised and acknowledged for what you do. Thanks very much. And I'm not quite sure what to do next, because we have other things to do, but I don't know. Oh, sorry. Looks like I hand over to Nigel McBride, the CEO.
Very briefly, just want to move over there with the recipients. So, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to take a photo of these wonderful people. They might just want to move around. I'm looking at the photographer. Can you give me some hand signs? Or anyway, can you see them all? Yep. Sorry? Okay. Yeah, maybe move forward, ladies and gentlemen. I'll just move the stage out of the way very carefully. Right up the front, please. Just moving forward. All the attractive people, can you move to the front, if that's all right? It's all right, you can say that.
While these congratulations are being passed around as a great thing, I would like to express my congratulations to Alison Wall, who does a bloody
Yes, excellent. Thank you very much. Let's give Alison a great... Thank you so much. Very appropriate. I'll just move the stage back a little. Can you see everybody, photographer? Oh, she's just there. Right, okay. You're in the hands of the photographer. Just need to get them off the stage. Can people please sit down so our official photographer can do her magic? Thank you. Please sit down, everybody, if you're not in the photo. Thank you. Have you got it? Okay. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Are you good? You good? Okay, thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Please give them a hand as they leave the stage. Actually, do you want them to come to the foyer? So, recipients, if you can go to the foyer, that would be great, just for one more. Thank you, Deputy Mayor, to the foyer. Yeah, we're having a bit of a break. Well, ladies and gentlemen, as the recipients and the Deputy Mayor go to the foyer, we are now in intermission while we're having dessert. And we're in a brief intermission, and at the end of intermission, which is only 15 minutes away, at no expense spared, we've flown in Jason Chong. Jason Chong, the man, the myth, the legend, that is a fringe star extraordinaire, star of television, movie. I think he's got a soundtrack out now. Jason, have you? I don't know. Where are you, Jason? He may have a soundtrack out, I don't know. But Jason is a very, very funny man, and he'll be with us in about 15 minutes for a very interesting take on being funny, and we're going to be involved. It's going to be a 21st century technology-driven comedic act, and I think you're all looking forward to him like me. So, ladies and gentlemen, in 15 minutes we'll be welcoming Jason Chong. In the meantime, please enjoy your dessert. Thank you.